Okay, so when I last left you, we had just gone through the two rules for negative exponents and the reciprocal exponent. So now I had asked you to take a stab at some of these following those rules. So let's have a go. I'll change to blue here. Evaluate each power. 3 to the power of negative 2. Now, when it says to evaluate each power, don't punch this straight into your calculator and give me a number. What we're looking for you to do, to be able to do, is to work with the rules and give me an answer. So you should always try and remember to leave your answer as a fraction if possible. Okay, so your answer should always be as a fraction. So here we go. Look at 3 to the power of negative 2. Well, the negative exponent tells me I need to make this 3 base into a fraction. So this becomes 3 over 1, all raised to the power of negative 2. The negative exponent tells me I need to flip that fraction. So this becomes 1 over 3, all raised to the power of 2. And then my exponent law from grade 9 tells me that I take this power of 2 and I apply it to the 1 and I apply it to the 3. So this becomes 1 squared over 3 squared, which is 1 over 9. And this would be what would be considered your final answer. Question B. 0.3 to the power of negative 4. 0.3 to the power of negative 4. Again, following the rules that we went through, negative exponent says I need this as a fraction, so I make this a fraction. I put it over 1. I'll put this bracket around it so I know it's all over 1. The negative exponent tells me I need to flip that fraction, 0.3, and I change the sign of the exponent to positive. Then I apply that 4 exponent here and here, so this becomes 1 to the power of 4 over 0.3 to tiny 3, 0.3 to the power of 4, which is going to be 1 over, well, 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. With 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, this is 1 over 0.1, 2, 3, oops, 8, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 place, 4 decimal places, so 0, 0, 8, 1. Now, again, we usually don't have decimals and fractions, so you may want to try and simplify this a little bit more. I want to move that decimal places 4 places, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 81. I would consider this a little bit more of a correct answer. Your textbook may show you this. Either or is perfectly fine. Question C. Negative 3 over 4 to the power of negative 3. Well, we already have a fraction. Well, that's good. But that negative value is out there floating in the middle of nowhere. So I've got to decide, do I want to put that on the top or do I want to put that on the bottom of that fraction? And it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to put it on the top. So this now I'm going to rewrite this as negative 3 over 4 raised to the power of negative 3. The negative exponent tells me I need to flip that fraction. So this becomes 4 over negative 3. Oops. Excuse me. Negative 3. All raised to the power of 3. And then I apply that exponent on both the 4 and the 3. So this now becomes 4 cubed over 3 cubed, which is going to be 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Over 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Can I reduce that fraction? No, I cannot. So this is complete. Two more to go. 8 to the power of negative 2/3. 8 to the power of negative 2/3. Well, the negative exponent tells me I'm going to have to flip a fraction, so I first need to have a fraction. I put the 8 over 1. Throw it in a bracket just so I can see it. So that 8 over 1 now becomes 1 over 8 to the positive value of 2/3. So now I flipped it. And then that exponent in this case, which is actually 2/3, gets applied to both the top and the bottom. So this is 1 to the power of 2/3 over 8 to the power of 2/3. 1 to the power of 2/3 and 1 to any power is just going to be 1. So this is just going to equal 1 over 8 to the power of 2/3. If we go back to what we were doing in our previous section, this is going to be the cube root of 8 all squared. Oops, squared, not cubed. And this cube root of 8 is 2, so this is going to be 1 over 2 squared, which is 1 over 4. And then our last example, E. So you can see we've started out fairly simple, and now we've gotten a little bit more complicated. Yeah, more complicated as these questions go along. Wait till you see the end of section 4.6. So here we have a negative exponent, so I know I'm going to want to flip that fraction. This becomes 16 over 9 to the power of 3 over 2. Now, common mistake happens right here. You flip the base fraction. You flip the base fraction, not the exponent fraction. Okay? Common mistake is many students will flip both. Well, if you flip both, well, then you've changed the question too much and you're going to get the wrong answer. So now that I flip that, I apply this to here, this to here. This becomes 16 to the power of 3 over 2 all over 9 to the power of 3 over 2. And then using the tools that we learned in one of those previous sections, I know that this is the square root of 16 all cubed, as well as this is the square root of 9 all cubed. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 9 is 3. Cubed and cubed becomes 64 over 27. I have a feeling I did something wrong somewhere. I have a feeling I did something wrong somewhere. Oh yeah, way back in question C. Way back in question C. This should be negative. This should be negative. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 is negative 27. So hopefully you picked up on that. If you didn't, well, now you've seen it. No different than what I really would have done in class, except maybe you might have caught me a little bit sooner than being at the end of my lesson. Yeah. So there's our examples with negative exponents. Practice, practice, practice. Play with these numbers, play with these fractional exponents, play with these negative fractional exponents. The only way you can get better at doing these questions is by practice.